Black and white photos, white men crowd the sidewalk and the street. A teenage African-American woman, soldiers in helmets with rifles.
From the beginning, the media not only told the story of Little Rock, it helped spread the story.
Orval Faubus.
It will not be possible to restore or to maintain order and protect the lives and property of the citizens if forcible integration is carried out tomorrow in the schools of this community.
Central High School.
The night before Central High opened, Governor Faubus used a statewide television appearance to explain his reasons for keeping 9 African-American teenagers out of Central High School.
Ozell Sutton, journalist.
We did not expect at first any violence at all until Faubus went on TV and he called for whites from all over Arkansas together at Central High School.
The media, sensing a confrontation, also showed up. What started out as a local story about desegregation quickly became a national and international story about racial injustice. Overnight, reporters arrived from all over the United States, including a young Mike Wallace working for ABC.
Mike Wallace
I went out there on the morning that the confrontation took place. And what a scene. Whites and blacks and name-calling and National Guard and, I mean, we're talking revolution.
Black and white film.
It was front-page news in the United States, and it became front-page news around the world.
Newspaper headlines.
Reporters from African-American newspapers like the Arkansas State Press, Chicago Defender, and Baltimore Afro-American, which had doggedly covered civil rights stories for decades, now found themselves elbow to elbow with reporters from all the major national papers and beyond.
Jefferson Thomas.
This is a world theme. It's not local or statewide. It's not even national anymore. People in other countries are writing and giving us words of encouragement.
White police control a crowd of white men.
Every night, the 3 television networks beamed images into the nation's living rooms.
White reporter questions a silent young African-American.
Can you tell me your name, please? Are you going to go to school here at Central High? You don't care to say anything, is that right?
That first day, when the kids showed up and the troops were there, America had to contemplate, good Lord, this is a genuine, moral crisis.
Mike Wallace.
On September 23rd, Americans who may have been quietly comfortable with the notion of separate but equal were suddenly confronted with the ugly reality of racism.
Vintage news film.
Under court order, the Negroes entered the hitherto forbidden white school. A riot started, and they quickly left. For 2 days, white crowds gathered at the school. They defied President Eisenhower's order to disperse.
The mob, enraged because it couldn't reach the 9 students, turned instead on the reporters.
Whites fight African-Americans. Whites fight black reporters. Now Jefferson Thomas.
It turned out that there was a barrier of news people between the black students and the mob. And the mob was beating up these news people. That was what protected us that first day.
Minnijean.
Unlike media today, it appeared that the world media took a moral stand on Little Rock. And they were horrified because there was so much media coverage. Even though we knew the people were crazy, we also knew that they would have to be really crazy to kill one of us in public.
Police with nightsticks.
The images coming out of Little Rock were so disturbing that before the day was out, the White House responded.
Eisenhower on television.
Mob rule can not be allowed to override the decisions of our courts. The foundation of the American way of life is our national respect for law.
An estimated 100 million Americans, nearly half the nation, tuned in to hear President Eisenhower announce that he was sending the 101st Airborne to Little Rock.
Vintage news film. Ozell Sutton.
There's no question that the national media was the force that forced the national administration to do what needed to be done in support of school desegregation.
Over the next few days, the nation was riveted to its TV sets. CBS cut into its programming with live updates 11 times in a single day.
Last night, the Arkansas National Guard relieved these federal troops for a while. Now the 101st, the federal troops have taken over again.
The civil rights movement was being broadcast in real time.
Soldiers patrol a street, men with a Confederate flag. Reporter interviews a white man.
You think there'll be more trouble this year?
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you help make it if you had to?
Yes, sir, I would.
Not everyone felt the media's portrayal of Little Rock was even-handed. Some even blamed the crisis on reporters from outside the South, who didn't understand local traditions.
Voice of Craig
I was
Raines.
really upset then. The idea of the liberal Eastern press was very evident to me as far as I could tell. I really didn't feel like a balanced story was being given.
But Southern journalists from Little Rock and the national media were also covering the violence.
Some of the reporters grew up as Southerners. They saw what happened. They might not have liked everything that was happening, but they knew it was a hell of a story.
For many, the coverage only hardened their opposition to integration. Shortly after the Little Rock crisis, a national Gallup poll ranked Governor Faubus one of the 10 most respected men in the world, just behind the Pope.
Time magazine cover.
America was split in two back in 1957 on the subject of race. People of goodwill, people who were not bigots, still couldn't make up their mind whether it was a good idea to desegregate.
Well, I think that is...
The Little Rock crisis helped America grow up. Television, which was in its infancy back then, helped immensely to inform, educate the American people. There's no doubt about it.
In TV studio and in streets, television reporters and cameramen. Now, Carlotta Wallace Nier.
If it had not been for the media, I wouldn't be sitting here today, okay? Because the Governor Faubus group would have won out.
African-American teenagers.
The media had also given the nation a vivid portrait of 9 young African-Americans standing up for their rights with a courage beyond their years. It was a preview of what was about to come.
Lunch counters sit-in, protest signs.
Television news and America would never be the same again.
The screen fades to black.